Hello and welcome to Andy Shed Live. This is Series 7, Episode 29 for Sunday the 16th of August 2020. Hello there, how are you? Hope you're doing okay. We a bit late. We had a bit of a false start earlier on because I just came on the stream here and my phone rang. so I had to sort of stop and answer the phone and that, but I'm back now, and we are here for the next few minutes or so at least. All right, I'm just getting the chat up. See if you see who's in the chat at the moment. It looks like Chris is still in the chat there. He says, hello, I got a green Australia 802 telephone from 1984 here. And he also says it was converting two GPO 162s. With induction coils. I had to add ring capacitation to GPO bell set 26 for the GPO 162s. You had to add a capacitor. Add a ring. A ring capacitor to GPO bell set 26. Has a GPO bell set 26 not already got a capacitor in it? I'm sure it's got a capacitor in it. It's the induction coil it's missing, isn't it? A bell set 26. Yeah, I think it is. I think that's right. Because I've got quite a few bell set 26s and they've all got capacitors in. None of them have got a blooming induction coil in though, because that's a bell set 25 that's got an induction coil in it. It's gone to this silly top chat thing again. I want it to go onto live chat. Just bear with me a sec. That's better. That's more sensible. Right. As I said earlier, I've been restoring this for a dealer friend of mine this week. Move all the rubbish and let out the way. I've got quite a lot of rubbish, I see, because these are all the bits that I've cut off the line cord here, because I put a line cord on this phone, and then when I put the line cord on, I realised there was an intermittent fault on the handset, and it was the handset cord, and it was what is normally the problem with the handset cord, which is where it goes into the handset here. It breaks, or the wires inside the cord break, and so when you hold it and you move it about, you know, it comes and goes. It's sort of stop and start all the time. You know, sort of can you hear me like that. So I've had that problem with it. So I've had to shorten the handset cord. That's what I've done. I've cut a little bit out of the handset cord that was giving the problem, and hence all these bits on the desk, which I think we can probably get rid of. Although that bit, I'll keep that bit because there's a bit of handy wire on that. But the rest of it we can get rid of. Although I've got nowhere to chuck it at the minute, so I'll leave it there for a second. So that's what I've been up to here this week. It's been a busy one. So shall we try this Onyx phone and see if it actually works? What's it plugged into? 2021. It's plugged into 22 on my system here. So if I pick up my other phone, my trusty 706 clone, and we'll dial 22 and we'll see if it rings. And it does. Excellent, isn't it? So there you have it, and I can do it the other way around as well. I can dial on this. Now, where are we? on aisle 23. That rings a phone down there. That's ringing a phone down there, 23. So that's working as well. So there we go. That is the Onyx telephone. Which is not a GPO one. As I said before, you can tell it's not a GPO one because it's got this big nut thing, this big bolt thing through the middle of the dial that holds the dial together, which the GPO ones don't have. So that's the thing there. The problem that I had with this was that I couldn't do anything with the connections inside the phone because the connections inside it were on very, very narrow and very unusual sort of spade connectors, so I couldn't do anything with it inside. So what I actually did was I cut this bit of the cord short here, and I used the bit that was already inside the handset because that was okay because it had got a break sort of here-ish. So I sort of cut the cord there just inside the handset and cut it here somewhere on the curly cord, took that bit out, then mated the two bits that were left together, and so the broken bit is probably somewhere in that bit of curly cord there, I would say, or maybe this other little bit of curly cord that's on the desk. So that is how I did it. I just shortened the curly cord a bit, and of course it's still long enough that you can pick it up without too much trouble. So it's still working if you like. So that's what I've been up to this week. I have also got to go next Saturday and pick up a job lot of phone cases. Not cases for your mobiles, don't get excited, but actual shells, you know, the plastic cases for 700 series phones. Got loads of them that we have got to go and collect. What it is, it's a guy who's a phone dealer who puts these modern, how would you describe them? These modern cases on, these weird coloured ones, you know, the orange ones and purple ones, on original phones. But he doesn't do anything then with the cases he's taken off because they're a bit faded and stuff like that. And of course I can colour restore them, so I'm going to go and collect them, and probably in years to come I'll be taking his repro cases off and putting the original cases back on. so it's all go. Looking in the chat here, Christopher 2000 says he meant to say he added a ring capacitor to the GPO Bell Set 25. So why does it need a ring capacitor in it, in a 25? I'm not entirely getting that. There's a capacitor already in one, isn't there? A massive, great big tin can looking type capacitor already inside a Bell Set 25. A Bell Set 25, the one that has got the induction coil in it as well. So they ring on the Australian system. That would work anyway. You don't need to put anything in it, Christopher, I don't think, because how many wires are there in a drop cable in Australia? Are there just 2 wires? You know, the cable that comes like to your house and then in probably through a corner of a window ledge somewhere. How many course of wire are there in that? Are there only 2? Because if there are only 2, it will be the same as the old British system before it went through all this plug and socket business. So basically, when we talk about converting British phones to plug and socket, If you unconvert it, it should work straight off on the Australian system, I would have thought. Have I got a picture of that? No, I don't think I have. But that's the conversion in a 700 series that you do. But if you were to unconvert it, then you would be able to run it on the Australian system, I'm pretty sure, if it was unconverted. Now somewhere I have got an image for an unconverted one. Let me just have a look through and see if I can find it. And of course, just because I'm looking for it, I can't. But yeah, if you need to unconvert it, I would say unconvert it, take it back to its original wiring, which should probably be on a paste label somewhere inside it. Take it back to its original wiring, then just wire A and B up to your drop cable, and it should work. And if the capacitor in the phone is good, the original capacitor is still good, then it will ring. The only reason it won't ring is if that original capacitor, which in your case is in the bell set, it'll be a big silver thing in the bell set, then if that's any good, it'll work. If it's not any good, you'll have to replace it. And what people do, the capacitors are smaller now, what people do with vintage radios and that, they take the old capacitor apart and put the new capacitor inside the can of the old capacitor, so it still looks original inside when you take the cover off, but there's a new small capacitor inside the shell of the original capacitor. So that can be done, but it sounds like your capacitor should be in there, but it sounds like it might have failed because it's so old. So I think that might be the answer to it. It says don't have capacitors in the 2-wire phone jacks. Yeah, exactly. We didn't used to have either. We didn't used to have a capacitor in them until plug and socket came along. That's why they do this conversion with plug and socket. Basically, all you used to have coming from your phone was you used to have the white wire from the socket, the red wire from the socket, which were the two legs of your line, and then you also had the blue. The green didn't do anything, but you had the blue. No, originally they used the green, and then they started using the blue. Originally they used the green, I think, rather than the blue, but the green was originally tied in the little box, you know, the little box that goes between your drop cable and the phone. Have I got one I can get a hold of easily? No, I haven't. Can't get that one down there. But there's a little box about the size of a matchbox, and that little box had the green wire connected to either the red or the white. I can't remember which way round it was, or even if it mattered or not. And that's what gave you 3 wires in. And that was then used as your bell wire. But the capacitor was inside the phone. So we didn't used to have these these capacitors in the phone jack. So if you put it back to original wiring, it will work on the Australian system. I don't know why we now have these capacitors in the phone jack. It causes untold amounts of problems and complications and things. I have no idea why Telecom, as it was at the time, did it. It was absolutely insane. Bellset 25 doesn't have a ringing capacitor. What's the big capacitor that's inside it then? What's that doing? Norfolk Hall's come in and he says that the green wire was originally connected to the white of the line cord. Yeah, that's right, in the little box, wasn't it? Norfolk Hall has saved the day. So the green and the white were connected together in that little matchbox sized box thing that sat just inside your windowsill for most people in the UK. There were 2 wires going into one side of it and 3 coming out the other side. In fact, some line cords that you get on phones don't have a blue wire in them. Some of them are only 3-core cable. Some of the original ones that I've taken off, they've only got a red, a white and a green in them. Alright, Christopher 2000 says capacitors that are in the Bellset 26. I thought they were in the 25 as well, but I don't know. I thought the thing that was missing out of one between Bellset 25 and 26, the thing that was missing out of one of them, and I think it's missing out of the 26, is the induction coil. It's in the 25, but it's not in the 26, because by the time the 26 came along, they were putting the induction coils in the phones. And I know this, I've got loads of those Bellsets without an induction coil, and I want one with an induction coil in it for this, when I finally get around to restoring this, because obviously there's no induction coil in there. This is a yeah, come on, 150. Is it 150, 130? I can never remember. 150. Yeah, from about 1930. Tele 150 from about 1930. It's actually originally telephone number 1, I think. Yeah, it is originally telephone number 1, and they changed them in telephone 150s in the sort of 20s, 30s-ish, and because you can see on the top up here there's a number, and it's got number 1, and then that's sort of crossed out, so I had a stamp put through it and 150 put on underneath it. So when I get this restored, this came to me as a table lamp. Somebody had converted it to a table lamp, and the internal wiring for the switch hook turned it on and off. So that was lamp on, that was lamp off. So there was 240 volts in the UK. So we're on 230, 240 volts. There was 240 volts going through the tiny little wires inside that were designed to take maybe 80 volts maximum when it's ringing. Something like that. No, well, not even that, because these don't ring, of course. So those lamp conversions were well dodgy. Definitely dodgy. So yeah, so we've got all kinds of weird phones today. We've not got any ordinary sort of 700 series on today. We've got all kinds of weird